Hi, this is Ginger from My Sister Scrapper. Today I want to show you one more project that I created using the Simple Story Say Cheese paper collection. This is a really cute little project. I actually kind of like this one, although I am a little tired of the paper. This uses all of the 3x4 cut-aparts from the paper collection. There was a sheet of 12x12. 3x4 cut aparts, and I just cut them apart and used that to create this mini album. So it's small. The covers measure 3.5 by 4.5, and the pages are 3.25 by 4.25. There are 6 pages inside, but I made little miniature file folders for the pages. So on the front cover, again, I used one of the 3x4 cut aparts. I layered it on some white cardstock and then wrapped my chipboard with the solid black. On the spine, I kept it really simple, just with some solid white cardstock, a scallop circle, and a craft color, and a little star punch out right there. And then here's another 3x4 cut apart on the back. So this is a Mickey silhouette that I cut out using my Cricut Explorer, and this uses the Mickey font cartridge. You open it up, and on the inside front cover, again, this is the cut apart, and I layered it with some white cardstock just so it would fit, because my covers were 3.5 by 4.5. So each of these little file folders have one of the cut aparts here, and on the actual file tab I have a small little Mickey punch here. This is where all ears, and you open it up, and then there's 2 white photo mats on the inside. So this is decorative, and you can put photos here and photos here. And then on the file tab I stapled some little ribbon in yellow and red, and just alternated that with my little tiny stapler. So on the back of that page, again, there's another 3x4 cut apart, and then I punched out a little heart and added that to the top of this just to give it some dimension. And then over here, again, I have another little Mickey punch, and then you open this page up, place for 2 more photos, and then the cute little red ribbon here on the center file. Open it up, and then these two, I tried to get it so they would coordinate a little bit together here, and then it says what's up. You could put a small little photo here if you want to. It says, can I have your autograph? Be cute to get some autographs right there. Another little Mickey punch, and then on the inside 2 more photos here, and then this is the last file tab. So there's a top, a bottom, and a center file folder, and there's 2 of each. So there's 6 pages in here. Over here again, another 3x4 card. It says Instamagic. And I took this little card, and I took my craft knife, and I slid along the top of the little camera and punched out a little tag, and that just goes in here. And I do have a little tip to share with you about when you're doing this, and I actually learned this from a couple of my students in my last mini album class that I taught. See, we can all learn from everybody. What you want to do is when you're cutting this little slit in your paper is before you cut it, flip it over and use a piece of packing tape on the back side and run it along the back of where you're going to cut it. So that way, then flip it back over, take your craft knife and cut your little slit here, and that helps your paper from tearing when you're going to put your tag in now. I thought that was brilliant, so I used that on this little project, and it worked fabulous. Over here again, this little cut apart had the teapot. I did the same thing. I cut the little slit here and added a cute little tag, and you could put a photo here if you wanted. And the key to these is when you're attaching the photo card to your page, make sure you leave it open down here where you have your slit, and use your wet glue for the bottom, and just glue at the top here and then along the sides. So again, opens up, 2 more photos here, and again we're at the red here. Again, some more little cut aparts, and on this cut apart I cut 3 slits and I alternated it so I could add 3 little tags. There's a black one and a red one and another black one. And again, 2 more photos. This one says this is our happy place, and I added, there's actually a little heart underneath this arrow, and I went ahead and punched out a red heart and put it on dimensionals, and I added a little gold star here just to dress up that black and white paper a little bit. Again, another 3x4 cut apart, and then 2 more photos. And on the last page, it says so much fun. I added another little Mickey punch out on some dimensionals. On the back inside cover, another little Mickey punch out on some dimensional foam tape, and then again I did the same thing with cutting the slit, and I added this small little tag right there. And then that's the back. So that's my little mini album using the 3x4 cut aparts from the Simple Story Say Cheese paper collection, the 12x12s. And I'm going to show you really quick how I made these cute little file folders. Okay, so what you're going to need to create these little darlings, again, I'll show you how to do all three of them, the top, the middle, and the bottom one, is you're going to need, for each file folder, a sheet that measures 4 1/4 by 7 inches. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and get our scoreboard out. And along the 7-inch side, we're going to score at 3 1/2. No, we're going to score at 3 1/4. Excuse me, 3 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and fold that up and do that to all 3 pieces. Score again 7 inches here, and we're going to score at 3 1/4. So you can actually get 2 pages out of one sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 because the measurement's 4 1/4 by 7. So again, we're going to score 3 1/4. And we'll fold that. Okay, that's all the scoring we're going to do. Now to create the file tab little looking thing there, I'm going to use the envelope punch board. And what you want to do is for the top file tab, we're going to go ahead and put this corner at the 2-inch mark here. So open it back up, and we're going to want the tab on the part you've got. This one's a little smaller than this one on the large section. So open it up and put the edge right on the 2-inch mark, and you just go ahead and do a punch. Okay, and you're going to take that paper, flip it over, and then you can just line it up. The best way for me to show you how to do it is I took the center dip here and lined that 2-inch mark right in the middle of that center dip. So basically that means it's kind of on the 4 1/4 mark if you really want a measurement. That's so I could be consistent. So that's our top file folder, and then we're going to go ahead and trim this bottom section off. And you can either use your scissors or your paper trimmer. Okay, so that's the top one, and we'll cut this off later and I'll show you. Now for the middle section, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take it, and we want to do the file punching on the part that's larger. So we're going to fold it down, and we're going to go ahead and put this at 1 1/8. Our edge is going to be on the 1 1/8 line, and we're going to punch. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing. Place it at the 1 1/8 mark. Okay, so then that leaves us with this, and we're going to cut these 2 edges off. So that's our center one. Now to get the one that's on the bottom, what we want to do is we have it facing like this. We're going to fold it down. Then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to start with this edge here and put that at the 2-inch mark. Punch, and then flip it back over this way, and again line that up so that little 2-inch line is right in the center of your little notch, and punch. That way it gives us our tab on this end, and then we'll cut this off. So we're all done with our punch board. Then what we're going to do is we're going to trim those off. We're going to get our paper trimmer out, or again, you can use scissors. I don't cut straight, so just FYI. And that's why I have to use a paper trimmer, and hopefully this blade is okay. It's kind of giving me fits. So roughly it works out pretty good if you put it at almost the 3/8 of an inch mark on this side. If you put the edge you want to trim off, that should pretty much go right to the edge. So it'll look like that, and fold it up, and that's our bottom file folder. Now you can round the corners if you want. In this particular project, I did not round them, but you certainly can do that. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to cut these 2 wings off, so we want to place this right about 3/8 of an inch is what we're going to trim off here. And then we're going to pull it to the top and trim off this one. Okay, so that's our center file folder. So we have our back one, we have our center one, and now our one for the top. Again, we're going to put it in our cutter here, and we're going to line that up at 3/8 of an inch. It's probably easier to do it this way so I can see the measurement. What a novel idea. And trim that off. So there we go. There's our top one, our middle one, and our bottom file tab. So we're done with our paper trimmer. So basically that's how I created the little pages in that book. Now the cool thing about this is you can use this for any of those, like those cards, the 3x4 journaling cards. They fit right on there. That's what I'm thinking, you know, I got a bunch of these. This would make a cute little gift. Here's the little Halloween one. See how they fit right on there? And then you can do just plain photo mats on the inside if you want. Or instead of doing 6 pages, you could just do 3. It would be a great little, you know, fabulous little gift for, you know, holidays coming up. Eek. So that's how I did that. And then when you go to put these in your book, if you do the 6 pages or however many pages you choose to do, what I did was I created my binding, and then these are my hinges, and I folded all of my hinges over to the right. And because I'm going to attach these just to the back of this file folder, and you want to make sure that you attach these before you add your design paper, because your design paper will cover up that space on your hinge. Now you will have a small little line that you'll see if you do leave a border, but I was okay with that. If you're not okay with that, then you might want to angle your hinges pretty deep. So what you want to do is you're going to only put score tape when you fold all of your hinges flat. You're only going to put the score tape on the top. We don't need it on the back because we're going to cover that up with design paper. So what you do is you'll put all of your score tape along here. And I always like to start with the back. Take your file folder. Again, pull your tape off. And when you go to place it in there, don't put it all the way down to the bottom, because you want to make sure you can open the inside of this. So what I did is I just eyeballed it and just left a little smidgen of a line before my score line. So like a 1/16 of an inch, like that, and then press it down, and then your page will open a lot better. So again, we're going to fold it down. We're going to take our hinge, fold it down, just put score tape on here, and then attach the next one, which would be the center one, like this. Okay, and again, we're going to leave a space right there, so we don't want to go all the way down to the edge of our score line, because we want to make sure we can still open this up and it'll still have room to fold open and lie flat. So that's how I created the pages in the cute little Disney Pocket Page mini album. And just really quick, I was going through my stash after I made this, after I already got it done, and I found these really cute little charms. And the name of the charm pack is called Happiest Place on Earth, set number A. I mean, oh my gosh, look at these. This cute little, look at this. Oh my goodness. There's cute little, I love this little key. We got Winnie the Pooh. I mean, lots of Mickeys and Minnies in here. Love this one. And there's even like Nemo. I love that one. Cute little Thumper from Bambi. There's a little Bambi right there. Another Mickey Mouse. And this is really cute. It's like a little Mickey head that looks like a little wreath, and a little Aladdin's lamp. So all of these cute little charms I got in this little pack, and I had it in my stash, and I got these at Butterbee Scraps. I put the link in the description box as well as on my blog post, so you can click right on there. And she also has another one. She has a Happiest Place on Earth set A and set B. Set A is this collection right here. I don't have a set B to show you, but it has more of the princess ones. Like it's got a little castle, it's got Tinkerbell, it's got a magic wand, it's got a little slipper, it's got a little apple from Snow White. Anyway, darling, darling, darling. And they're like less than $5. They're super cheap. So go check out Butterbee Scraps Artistic Treasures. If you are making a Disney album, I mean, oh my goodness, how stinking cute would this little key be on there? Oh, darling, but again, too late, already did that. So just want to share that with you. And then also, if you want to recreate this little project, with the exception of the Mickeys, because I did use my die cut machine for that, all these little Mickey punches here are just an EK Success punch, and I got this at Joann's, and when they were 40% off. So that's what I used for that. To create the little stars and the little hearts, I use these little Stampin' Up! Punches, and there's a set of 3 that come in this itty bitty accent punch pack, and the other one's like a little flower. You get all 3 of these in one pack. And then to create the little cute tags, which I love this little punch, it's one of my favorites. Again, it's a Stampin' Up! Punch, and it's a little tag punch like this. So it fits great for little tiny books if you're doing anything like that. And then obviously I used a circle punch, which is a 1-inch circle punch, and the scallop circle is a 1 1/4 inch scallop circle. And again, those were Stampin' Up! Punches. So those are all the things that I used if you wanted to recreate this. And again, just some ribbon here, stapled it on. But I'm thinking these charms are really super cute. I'm going to have to go back and add those in. So there you go, everybody. That's my little project using the last of the 3x4 cut apart. So this will be a great little project to use up those. If you have any Project Life cards, a boatload of those 3x4s, this is a project for you. So there you go, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.